Hello, everybody. So in this video, I want to talk about the difference between expressing and letting go. Talk about what the difference is, and also show you how to be able to let go of low emotions, how to let go of anger versus expressing it. Nowadays, people talk about wanting to express themselves. Everybody wants to express themselves because everybody wants to be authentic. They want to show people who they truly are, and they don't want to suppress themselves. They don't want to hide. But and they not just that, not just but they also think that it's good to express how they're feeling. And I know there's good intention behind it, but I feel like there is actually a lot of confusion behind it, and people are actually creating more problems than actually helping. So in this video, I want to talk about that, so this way you can understand what's the difference. So first of all, let's talk about what does it mean when somebody's expressing themselves. That means I'm angry, and I'm going to express my anger by yelling. I'm going to express my anger by telling somebody, "Hey, I'm angry at you. I'm going to tell you why I'm angry, and I'm going to tell you what you just did, and I want you to not do it." And so this way I can feel like I'm standing up for myself, right? I can feel like I'm expressing myself. So what this does is it actually throws this energy of anger onto the other person because we're in this state of anger. And so we may think now I'm releasing it by expressing it out. But what we're actually doing is we're just expressing it out. We're not actually releasing it. Because releasing anger, when we do that, we develop a behavior, a pattern, a habit of expressing anger when we're upset. Now, I'm going to use anger just as a generic emotion, because we can do this with any emotion, any state, but we'll just use anger just for the sake of examples. So if I'm angry and I go ahead and tell the person why I'm angry, and while I'm angry, all I'm doing is throw this anger to somebody else. And if, let's say I'm angry and at this person, and I don't tell this person, but I just share it with a friend while I'm angry because I want to express myself. Even if I share it, the energy of anger is being transferred to this person. And the reason why this is happening is because the energy that's flowing inside of me is anger. The emotion that's flowing inside of me, energy, emotion, is anger. And so even if I try to speak it in a nice way, it's impossible to create another energy other than the energy that I'm currently having. And plus, my energy expands out about 3 feet on each side. So when this person's right here, they can even feel my anger, right? So if you're ever around somebody and they're angry, you can feel it. You can, even if you don't say anything, you're just sitting there not saying, you can feel it's like, oh, there's this sense of like, resistance, sense inside. So when we express it out like that, now this person is going to carry anger. Now this person is going to be affected. And so if that is the only way that we know how to let go of anger, by telling other people, by yelling, by doing all this stuff, we now are throwing this energy out and affecting other people. And even if it makes us feel better temporarily, if we throw out anger, it's going to circle back to us. If we go ahead and tell it to somebody that is living in our household, our sister, our brother, tell it to our friends, our loved ones, and all this stuff, even if just because we're trying to express ourselves, now all we're doing is giving it to them. How is that going to be any better? Because now they want to do the same thing to us. And it's not going to be the same. They don't come and go, "Hey, remember earlier when you told me about something that you're upset about? Well, that got me upset, and now I want to tell you." They're not going to tell you that way. Because most likely what's going to happen is they're not going to realize that you gave them anger. They're going to hear you. They're going to try to be a nice friend. They're going to try to listen to you. And then after that, they're going to go on with their day. But suddenly they get upset about something. They get stressed about something. They get frustrated about something. And later on, they may express to you, "Man, yeah, I'm really frustrated about this thing and this thing." And they don't realize the reason why they were frustrated is because they receive the energy from you. And so now when they share it with you, same thing happens. They tell it to you. They're not saying I'm mad at you, but they're just sharing in a state of being angry. And now that energy transfers back to you. So I'm using this as an example, but then there's other examples of how somebody would express being angry. So again, for you guys that are jumping on right now, I'm just using the expression of anger as a example, but this can work for any other emotion. Okay. So another way somebody can express is they can just yell, or they can just punch and do all this stuff. Either way, this is energy of anger inside of me being amplified out. Okay. And if we throw it out, it's going to circle its way back to us. Okay. And it's going to influence our environment. That's not helping. It's like if I have trash here, I don't want this trash. I'm going to drop it on the ground. Now I just got the ground dirty. You know, it's like it doesn't help to just move it somewhere else. What we want to do is we want to eliminate this energy. We want to diffuse the energy. We want to transcend this energy. Okay. And that is called letting it go. Letting go is not expressing it out to somebody. Letting go is not giving it to somebody else. I don't want this thing. Let me give it to you. No, that's not going to be any better. Letting it go means let me go and transcend this. Okay. I don't give it to anybody because nobody else wants my shit. All right. So how do we do that? Okay. So the difference, letting it go is, again, using the same emotion as angry. I'm angry right now. So what happens? So when I'm angry, I feel the anger inside of my body. I can feel it. How does anger feel like? Right? It can feel pressure. You can feel heat. You can feel little discomforts in your stomach or in your back, and pressure and, tightness. So you feel it. You can even hear voices in your head complaining about something, and you just watch it, but you don't express it. And then you relax and you surrender to it. That means you don't try to fight it. You relax your body, and in your mind, you are totally accepting that it is happening right now and letting go. In your mind, you totally accept it. You don't try to escape from it. You just let it go. Accept it happening right now. In your body, relax. Let go. Surrender into it. And the feeling will elevate because you'll feel it more. But that feeling it more is part of letting it go. And at some point, when it's at its highest intensity, it stops going up higher and it starts to drop down. And as it starts to drop down, that's because it's being released. But you didn't express anger. You didn't yell. You didn't punch something. You didn't stomp. You didn't slam the door. You didn't slam the cabinet. You didn't go and try to avoid it. You didn't go and try to direct your attention somewhere else. Because all you're doing when you do that is you're pushing it down. All you're doing is pretending like it's not there, which means by default you hold on to it. It's like it's like you have dirt on you, but instead of letting it go, you just pretend like it's not there. You just don't look at your hands. Your hands is dirty. You don't look at it. Pretend like it's not there. Well, nothing's going to happen to it. It's just going to stay that way. So we need to let it go. So that's the difference. When we do that, what we're doing is we're actually releasing the energy. That emotion, when we get angry, when we get sad, any emotion, it's just that energy, the energy circling inside of us. The energy in the form in our head, in our mental space, is in a form of thoughts, certain words, intentions. When we release that, all we're doing is becoming present of it. we become present of it, and we fully accept it as it's happening. In our body, we relax. We breathe. In our mind, we fully are okay with it happening right now. Because if we aren't okay with it happening, it's still happening. Just because you're not okay with it doesn't mean it's going to suddenly go away. It's still happening. But when we're not okay with it, we resist it. And when we resist it, we can't let it go. We are pushing away at it. We're pushing at it. We resist. When we fully accept, now we can let it go. When we resist, we actually hold on to that anger, hold on to that emotion that we don't want. So when we accept it, then we let it go. So you see how that's very different than expressing. Okay. So here's like another analogy. So let's say it's like I have this knife. And if I'm going to express this knife, I'm going to go and cut and jab. But if I want to let it go, I drop it. Okay. If I'm angry, what do? I yell, I scream, I slam. Or I'm angry, so I go tell you, hey, man, I'm so angry. Man, let me tell you why I'm so angry. That person, you know what they did? You know what just happened? Right? That's also expressing anger. There's no difference between yelling and sharing it with somebody. It's still expressing it. But when I'm carrying this anger, I don't want to give it to somebody. I want to let it go because I don't want someone else to feel this. So now I feel it in my body. I relax it so it doesn't stay in my body, and it starts to rise out of my body. So in the intensity in the body, we feel the sensation. Okay. We feel the discomfort. We feel it, and keep feeling it, keep feeling it. Breathe when it's too intense. Move a little bit when it's like really intense. Okay. But continue to feel it. Do not tense up your body. When you tense up your body, you hold it down. Okay. Imagine this, like this rope. If I want to let go of this, do I tighten up? If I tighten up, it becomes harder. I can't pull it out. I'm trying to pull it out, but I can't because I keep tightening up. But when I'm loose, then it goes away. We let go by letting go, by opening up. Okay, just look at our hands. We open up, we let it go. Okay, if we hold on to it, we can't let it go. So physically in our body, to let go, we stay calm, we stay relaxed, we surrender, and we loosen up. Okay, that's in the physical. Mentally, we accept. We accept that it's happening right now. We don't blame. Blaming is not accepting. I don't want this, shouldn't be happening. No. It's happening, and let it happen. It's okay that it's happening. Okay. Right now is not the time to go ahead and go, why this, and how this, and that's not the time. We do that after we are done letting it go. We don't try to go and figure out our problems when we're mad. That's just silly. Okay. We're not clear. No good problems can be figured out in a state, in the same state that the problem created. Okay. Einstein talks about this. Let it go first. So we don't try to figure it out. We just let it go. So in our mind, how do we let it go? Remember, in our body, we relax. In our mind, we accept. Okay. We accept it as it is right now. I'm mad. I'm okay with being mad right now. I fully accept being mad right now. Okay. Not expressing it, being mad, that means in my mind. Because remember, body, relax. Mind, accept. I accept myself being mad right now. Not going to fight it. I accept that this thing just happened. It's okay. Okay. So now, between these two things, when we accept it in our mind, it helps us become present. Just like when we relax, it helps us become present. So now, when we accept these things and we're relaxed, we become very present. And as we're present, this intensity of anger is still inside of us. There's emotions inside. But now we're present and we're watching this emotion. We're watching this feeling. We're observing it. And when we observe it, the intensity of it lowers down. But we watch it. And we can feel it. We can feel it. And we're very present of it. And we're not trying to fight it. We're just surrendering to it. And then it starts to go away. The intensity, remember, in the beginning, when it rises, you feel it. Most people at this point try to push it down. But let it rise, let it rise, let it rise. And then at some point, it starts to drop down. And then it's gone. And then now when it's gone, how do you know? Because you're totally watching it the whole time. It will do this, I promise you. Okay? When it's doing this, and you think, I can't handle it. Yes, you can. Keep watching it, keep watching it, keep watching it. And then it comes down. And then it may come up a little bit. And if it comes up, that means there's more. Okay. And then let it come down. And if it comes up, okay, let it come up. But at some point, you keep watching it, it will come down. And when it comes down, congratulations, you just let it go. Okay. When it comes down, you'll feel calm. You'll feel at peace. You'll feel totally normal. And you also notice that your mind, the perspective has just shifted. Your body, totally relaxed, just normal now. That's letting it go. You didn't give this emotion of anger or this emotion of sadness or whatever it is. You didn't give it to anybody. Okay. You went ahead and let it go by yourself. If every person learns how to do this, the world will be a better place. But that's why we are learning now. Because we didn't get a chance to learn it before. It's okay. Practice this. Okay. Practice this every time that you get stressed. Anytime that you get upset. Anytime that you get bothered. Practice this. The little ones is not why you're doing it. You do it because you want to get good at it. The little ones will make little differences in your life. The big ones will make big differences in your life. Okay. Most people care more about the big ones than the little ones. But how are you going to be able to do the big one if you don't practice? You're going to totally fail at it. You're not going to know how to do it. And that overwhelming feeling in your body that make you want to exert and whatever it is, whatever emotion, the response in your body, the tightness, and you can't handle it. Your mind's going to be racing and racing. How are you going to handle it? How are you going to be able to observe it? You won't be able to. So that's why you practice on the small ones. Okay. You walk and you stub your toe. What's the normal response? When I stub my toe, I used to get mad. Stub myself. That's not letting it go. That's expressing it. Go, who left that thing there? All this stuff. So, boom, you hit your toe. What you do? Don't yell. Oh, right? You relax your body, but your body is pulsing. Your toe is pulsing in pain, right? You look at it, that thing is starting to turn purple right away. Godly, you kicked it hard, right? Who left that there? Oh, well. At this point, you don't try to figure it out. At this point, you feel the pain throbbing in your toes and in your feet. Relax your body. It's easier to relax your hands, but it's really hard to relax your leg. Your leg is throbbing, and you can feel the throbbing coming up. But as that intensity of throbbing is coming and rising, you're also relaxing. And when you relax, you might actually feel the throbbing. So then you relax, and you feel it, and you feel it, and you feel it, and man, it's painful. And then you try to walk away, and it's just pain, but you relax. That's what you do in the physical. Remember, I always talk about physical and body, because they're simultaneously happening and they influence each other. But when you know what to do on either of them, they don't resist each other. That means you don't try to relax in your body and in your mind, you're saying, who left this there? Why did that happen? Golly, I was supposed to go ahead and go play ball in like 20 minutes from now. How am I gonna be able to play ball? No. Then you're just resisting. You're just going against each other. Your body's trying to relax and your mind's fighting it. Okay. In the body, simple. All right. Just memorize it. So simple. In your body, relax. Be calm. In your mind, fully accept that it's happening right now. Be okay with it. Remember, being okay with it does not mean that it doesn't need to change. Okay? It doesn't mean that this thing that's in the middle of the room needs to stay there. That doesn't mean, that's not what it means when you say be okay with that. It doesn't mean when you mentally accept. Mentally accept means you accept the moment right now. What's happening right now? Your toe is hurting. Your body's throbbing. And maybe even right now you're complaining in your head, man, who left this there? But you're okay with what is happening right now. Even though you are okay and you accept it, doesn't mean you don't change it. If it needs to change, you change it. So at this point, somebody left a big rock in the middle of the room. Huge boulder, you just kicked it. Your toes got big scratch on it. That thing needs to move. And not only does that need to move, also you need to find out who did it. All right. But at this point, you don't do it right now because you're angry. All right. You're in pain. Let it go first. And when you feel calm, then you go and do that. So maybe let's say you need to move the rock right now, though, right? Because you don't want someone else to get hurt. So what do? You're in pain, but you're fully accepting it. Then you go and move it. But you don't get mad. When you get mad, that means you're in your mind going, oh, no, complaining. Just watch it, be okay, be calm, and just move it. You see, there's still things that need to be done, but we don't need to go ahead and be angry or be emotional about it. We just accept it and we do what's needed. Acceptance doesn't mean we don't change. Okay, that's the big thing. I think a lot of people, when we think about accepting something, we think we don't do anything. We're just okay with it happening. No. We're okay with what is happening right now, but that doesn't mean we don't do something. For example, let's say you are walking from point A to point B. See, like my little walking. So you're walking. As you're taking every step, you are accepting every step you are taking as you are walking here. All right. So what does it mean? How do you walk here and not accept? Okay. So now imagine you're where you're at right now and you need to walk over there. So now walk over there, but in your mind, you don't want to walk over there. Has this ever happened? Have you went to a place that you didn't want to go to the place? How does that feel like in your mind? I don't want to do this. Oh, why am I doing this? Oh God, man, I don't want to do this. This is stupid. I should be doing something else, a waste of time. Mentally, we are not accepting, but we have to do it. Let's say we have to do it, because if we don't have to do it, maybe we just don't do it. But let's say you have to do it, but you don't accept that you have to do it. So then you complain in your mind. But what are you doing? You're going there, but you're complaining. That's resistance in the mind. How does it feel in the body? Pressure, tension, right? Almost like you're not naturally flowing forward. There's not this effortless movement. It's like you're having to drag your body as you're going over there. That's resistance in the body. But what are you doing? You're still going over there, right? So that's called resistance while you go from here to there. So now, what is acceptance? Acceptance is, in my mind, I'm perfectly okay with the fact that I'm going over there. In my body, I'm relaxed, my energy is flowing, and I'm going over there, and I'm still walking. Both situations, I'm going from here to there. Okay? I'm making a change. I'm here, I'm going over there. I'm walking. It's action. But one situation, I'm in resistance while I'm taking action. The second situation, I am in acceptance while I'm taking action. But both things is action. Okay? So, the main point here, when we accept something, that doesn't mean we don't act. That doesn't mean we don't make a change. We can make a change, we can act, but we do it in acceptance, in the state of accepting what is happening at that very moment as we are doing it. Because if we don't accept, then by default, we are resisting. And if we are resisting in our body, we are not allowing our energy to flow. We are literally resisting the energy. We are literally creating pressure, creating tension, and nothing feels effortless. When we are acceptance in our body, we are relaxed, we are calm, and it feels effortless. In our mind, we have clarity. We can go ahead and figure out the things we need to figure out, and it just comes in. But when we resist in our mind, we are hitting a wall in our mind. Okay? So All right, guys. So that is it. I'm going to go through some comments. Good to see everybody. Thank you for joining on. Definitely works. All right, good to see you guys. Jump Oli, good to see you. Carlos, James Ron, Young, good to see you guys. Average Jane, hello Jane. Good to see you. Gabrielle, all right. Kevin, Gandhi, good to see everybody. Insane Soldat, all right. I've seen if there's any questions regarding this topic here, and just see if we can answer one or two questions here. This is a topic that we talked about today in Flow Tribe, and we dived a lot into this. Somebody was sharing about, about how to let go, how to accept, and acceptance is something that, yeah, there it goes. So acceptance is something that we practice all the time. It's something that we can practice with small things, and we start off with small things, because it's easier, and we start to get familiar with it. We start to build a habit, and we start to accept ourselves at every moment. And we always start off, we don't try to accept all these other things. We always start off with the number one thing that's most important. You know what that is? Here. This is the most important. Not because it's all that we care about, because what we do starts off with us. So when we fully accept ourselves, from ourselves comes everything else in what we do, our life. So that means ourselves, we accept how we feel. We accept how we look. We accept our hair. We accept our face. We accept what we have. We accept what we don't have. We accept our job. We accept our status. We accept our family. We accept this person. So attention to us. We accept everything about ourselves. Now we are in the process of making a change. I accept my body, but I'm going to change my body. I accept my job right now, but I'm changing my job. I want to have that job. I'm accepting this house, but I want to have that house. Okay. We will still have that. We're still going to go get that house. We're still going to go and get that other job. But we accept what it is right now. And just like how I gave the example of we're here and we're going there, every step of the way, I accept it here. I accept it here. I accept it here. I accept it here. I accept every single moment as I'm making a change. So now, when we accept, that means we're not resisting it. So now, if making this change takes 100 steps, I'm just going to use that analogy, right? It can be 3 months or whatever. It can be time frame. Let's look at, let's say 100 steps. Well, I accept when I'm at step 1, and then I'm moving and moving. I accept when I'm at step 2, step 3. I accept when I'm at step 10. So now let's say at step 10, the momentum kind of stops. And now I stay at step 10 for a little longer. But because I totally accept it, I'm not resisting it, I feel fine. I'm not getting angry. There's all this mental stuff. I don't have all this tension in my body. I'm still effortlessly as I'm not moving forward. I'm still feeling fine. I totally accept it. What happens if I don't accept the fact that I can't move forward? Well, now I don't experience a really nice state. I get mad. I get frustrated. There's all this pressure inside of my body. But does that help with me moving forward? When does it help that we have a whole bunch of pressure in our body? When does it help that we're complaining in our mind? How does that help us at all in anything? How does it help us become clearer to figure out problems if we're complaining about problems, right? How does it help us to go ahead and do anything if we feel pressure in our body? It doesn't. All of that doesn't help us at all. So therefore, when we accept, we don't deal with any of those things. We let all that stuff go. So then now we're moving forward, and eventually we get to that 100th step. And now we've accomplished this goal, this project. Now we got another one. So we do the same thing. I accept now, I'm at step 1. I totally accept it right now. And then I go to step 2 and I accept that too. This project takes 3 months. I'm at week 1. What does acceptance mean? That means I'm not sitting here in week 1 going, I wish I'm at 3 months. I wish this is done. Man, let me just envision that it's done. We can envision that's done, but envisioning that's done is different than I don't want to be here. You guys know that feeling when you don't want to be here? right now. Let's practice it right now. Okay. Here's what you do. We did this like on, I think it was on Thursday. Yeah, we did it really quick. All right. You're sitting down, hopefully right now. Standing up, it really doesn't matter. Okay. Keep your eyes open. Everybody just closes their eyes. No. Keep your eyes open. Okay. We're going to do this really, really quick. I want you to practice right now accepting who you are right now. Accepting where you're at. Start off with something like that. Something simpler. All right. Just accept what you're at and what you're doing right now. Let's say you're watching this right now. Just accept that. Accept yourself right now at this very moment, where you're at and what you are doing. Accept yourself sitting there. Accept how you feel. Whether or not you're feeling good or feeling bad, doesn't matter. Just be okay with it. Accept what you do for work. Anytime during this process right now that you are practicing on accepting yourself, notice if there's any type of tension that comes up. If there's any type feelings of inadequacy, feelings of weakness inside. If it happens, accept it. Be okay with it. It's okay. It's not a bad thing. Just be okay with it. Accept that. Notice that as you're accepting these things, there's a sense of effortlessness that comes across you. There's a sense of calmness. There's like a sense of inner peace. For some, it could be felt a lot. For others, you may only feel just a little bit. Notice how things are becoming just a little more clear. The colors are becoming clear, the lines of objects. It's as if you wipe the lens in your eyes. Your eyeballs are more clear. And things are standing out a little bit more. This is all with your eyes open. Do not close your eyes. Keep your eyes open. Okay. So you can practice this wherever you're at, whatever you're doing. Practice it all the time. Constantly practice it and get familiar with it. And as you do that, you start to feel your state change. You start to feel the relaxation. You start to become more present. You can feel it. Okay. So I'm going to read a couple. So I was going to answer a question here. How to boost your immune. Hardcastle. Johnny? Hey, Mike, what advice would you give to be less negative and become a more positive person? Okay. And also Shambam asked about how to boost your immunity. How to boost your immunity is they both can be solved in doing this. Okay. when we learn how to accept ourselves right now, like right now at this very moment, we accept ourselves, the way we look, the way we feel, our status, what we have and don't have. When we accept it, now to answer the immunity, our energy, we can release a lot of the blockages inside of our body and inside our mind. Remember, we talked about in our body, there's that pressure. We're tense because we're resisting in our body of what's happening now. Now we let go of that resistance. The energy in our body expands. It starts to flow. The tension, when it goes away, the energy can flow. And in our mind, we are accepting what is happening right now, even though we are making a change, but we accept it right now as it is right now. And that frees up energy. When you're thinking about something constantly, it takes energy to think about it, right? You get drained constantly trying to figure it out, think. Or you don't like something, you keep thinking about the thing you don't like. So when we let it go, because we fully accept how it is right now, we free up that energy. And that energy, extra energy now that's circulating in your body, allows you to enhance every aspect of your body, including your immune system. Your immune system depends on you having energy in your body. But if your energy is drained in resisting things in your life, then our bodies become sick. Not because there's bacteria around or because there's some virus no, because our body doesn't have the energy to fight off anything. Our body doesn't have the energy to be able to allow it to recover. When we look at who we are, we have energy on one end. Our energy versus the chemicals in our body. When our energy changes, the chemicals change. When the chemicals change in our body, our energy changes. When our mind changes, our energy changes. When our mind changes, the chemicals in our body change. When our body changes, we can also change our mind. When our body changes, our chemical changes. You see, they're all just layers of the same. They're different aspects of us. We are energy. We are also mind. We are also body. We are also chemical. There's more aspects of us, but they are all aligned together. It's not like we influence one aspect and we don't influence the other. They all change. So if somebody's really frustrating their mind, they can get sick in their body. How? Because their mind, being very frustrated, drains a lot of energy. Being very frustrated creates cortisol in the body. It messes up the hormonals in the body because there's too stressed. So now the chemical in their body is not healthy. Now the energy in their body starts to decrease because they're wasting all this energy because they're so frustrated in their head. So if you want to boost immunity, we don't boost just one aspect without changing something else. When we learn to accept ourselves, we open up the energy in our body and we free our mind. So the other question on being more positive is the same thing. When we're negative, it's because we want something to be different. When we fully accept ourselves, that means if I gain this thing, it doesn't make me any better. Okay? Because this thing is not me. This is me. That accomplishment is not me. This is me. I fully accept how I am right now, and nothing I do is going to make me any better because none of those things are me. I am not this extra degree that I can get. I am not this extra number in my bank account. I'm not this extra vehicle, this extra clothes, this extra jewelry. I'm not any different if these people are my friend or not my friend. That doesn't influence me. The core essence of me is not influenced by any of those things. I am not this body and I'm not this mind. So when this body changes, it doesn't influence who I am. Who I am is not the body and the mind. We are a spiritual being, a soul that is having a human experience right now. But the core essence of who we are does not change. And nothing that we do in this physical realm will change that. And so when we understand that and we get in touch with that, now we do things in our life, but the things that we do in our life doesn't change who we are. See, the problem is people define who they are by what they do. They define who they are by what they have. They define who they are by how they look like. And now, because they define who they are by that, all of these things need to be a certain way. But when we don't define who we are by those things, we start to not become attached to those things. So many people are on this path. You know, it's exciting. So many people are going towards being a minimalist. You know, so many people are going towards looking to how to be more happier because they don't want to chase all these things. They realize this is not who they are. So we practice understanding that here in our head. We practice relaxing and letting go in our body. And we practice accepting our life right now. When we learn how to accept ourselves, then we can accept other people. When we accept the way we are, we can accept how somebody else is. All right, guys, I'm looking through some comments here. John just wrote, toxic situations defeated my hard work. I flowed for over a year and always watched and followed Six-Pack Abs to this day. It's hard to be positive in a very negative place. Orlando, Florida. Took my soul, Mike. So the environment that we're in is very tough. It does influence us. So we always do the best we can to create the best environment. But we accept the environment even as we are changing it. If we can change it, then we change it. But let's say the change takes a day. Well, what do we do at this very moment, right? A day is 24 hours. So does that mean I'm going to suffer for the next 24 hours? If I have that mentality, then I will be suffering for the rest of my life. So now if it takes 24 hours to change my environment, I accept every single second of it as that 24 hours passes. And if it takes 24 days to change it, then I accept every day. And what if I can't change it? Then I accept that. You know, John, you talked about toxic situations, you know, defeating your hard work. It may have defeated the external expression of hard work you're doing on the outside. But there's also things that you gain that it can't defeat. You know, when we do hard work, when we're creating, when we're doing stuff, we don't just, the representation of it isn't the stuff just on the outside. We become different on the inside. You know, it develops us as a person, develops our soul. And that somebody can't take. They can take the thing that you built on the outside, but they can't take who you have become on the inside. You know, and because what you built on the outside isn't you anyways. So therefore, it doesn't matter. You know, but if you don't know that and you're confused and you think what you built is part of you, well, then you have to protect everything you build. How much work would that be? You know? So when we build something, when we create something in our life and we know, just because we're creating it, because this is good for this person, this is good for this situation, but that's not you. It's not who you are. You know? Now we create it, and once we create it, we let it go. You know? And if we create it and we failed in creating it, it's okay. It doesn't influence who we are. Saying it is easy. Someone goes, I know. Well, great. I know too. But just because I know and you know doesn't mean that we can do it. So that's where the effort comes in every single day. It's just practicing these things that we all seem to know, you know. And when we listen to the same thing over again, we listen to the same advice again and again and again and again and again. Why do we do that? It's not because we know, because we already know. It's because we can't do it. We haven't done it repeatedly. It doesn't matter what we know. It only matters what we actually can experience, what we actually realize, what we're actually doing. If we know that's important to accept, great. But are we accepting it? Yes. When? Accept it yesterday, last week? How about right now, and then right now, and then right now? So when we hear things, we practice it over and over and over, even if we hear the same thing. That's why it's actually better to go ahead and hear same things that are powerful, that solves the root issues, than to hear a whole bunch of new things. Because when we learn how to accept ourselves, that is the root of our life, the root of what determines our experience. And then from there, every single change that we make, every single thing becomes changed. But if we were to go ahead and focus on all these little things, even if we fix one thing, but we can't change another, it takes too much work and we never are done because there's always more new things on the outside here. But the interconnected relationship with everything in our life is us. So if we have a certain amount of time and a certain amount of energy every single day, what are we going to spend it on? Are we going to spend it on sprinkling all of these things when it comes to developing ourselves? Or are we going to just focus on developing ourselves? And through developing ourselves, every single thing, our relationship changes. Our work starts to change. The way we act, our habits, all of this change because we changed the core aspect. And that core aspect starts off and is and will always be accepting who we are right now at this moment. And it's always at this moment accepting it right now, because the moments change and we change. 10 minutes from now, something could happen and then we become different. But then if we accept that, great. So we always accept that moment right now. And we practice it. How often? As often as possible. Every moment you have an opportunity to practice it. So we're sitting here, we're doing nothing. Good. That should be easy to accept then, right? But if we can't accept, how do we know when we're accepting? Okay, I'm sure this last thing. I'm out of time, gotta go. How do we know that we are accepting? We feel peaceful. There's a sense of effortless. We feel clear. We are present. How do we know when we're not accepting? We feel agitated. There's a low sense or maybe a high sense of discomfort. There's a feeling or a thought, mental thought of, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing this thing right now. Even if this thing that I'm doing is nothing. Let's say you're just right here and I'm just sitting here. And let's say if you're not here, I'm not talking to you. I'm just sitting here. Nothing's wrong. Weather's great. Air's great. I'm great. Everything's great. But let's say I don't want to be here. I wish I was somewhere else. I wish I was doing something else. I don't want to be this time right now. I wish it was later. I wish it was earlier. Even if nothing bad is happening, and if I wished for something else, then I am not accepting this something else. I'm not accepting this right now. But when I accept this right now, I am fully here, then I am fully present. And now I want to walk over there. So then I get up and I'm accepting the fact that I'm up, and I take one step, I accept that step, I take another step, I accept that step. And so I'm stepping and I'm walking over there and I'm accepting my whole way. Okay, this is how we balance out accepting who we are and where we're at and what we're doing, while at the same time we are doing things. Okay. Last thing I'm going to leave with y'all. We make changes while we accept. Accepting while doing things is happening simultaneously. Do not get confused. That's the biggest confusion that I hear people talk about. And I remember because I was confused with this for a long time. And I wish somebody went ahead and freaking drilled into my head. That's why I'm drilling this over and over. You watch this video from the beginning. I probably said this 15 times already. Okay. You can accept while you make change. You can accept yourself and still make yourself better. Okay. You can accept the amount of money that you have while you're still making more money. You can accept your current body while you are building a better body. You can accept your lack of health while you're becoming healthier. You can accept this current car while you're getting a better car. Okay. But when we don't accept what is happening right now, we block our energy. We take away the clarity in our mind, and we are now in resistance. And everything that we are moving towards slows down. And sometimes it may just stop. If the more we don't accept, the slower we get. So if we can't move forward in our life, in one area or all areas, doesn't matter. Anytime we can't move forward in something, it's because we haven't accepted something. And if somebody's moving slow, it's because they partially don't accept certain things. And if somebody's moving very fast, it's because they are fully accepting things. Okay. All right. That's it, guys. Hey, thank you so much for joining in. I wish I can go chat longer, but it's been about 51 minutes, 52 minutes going on. If you guys like to talk about this, you'd like to learn more, join Flow Tribe. We chat about this every single week. We've been doing it right now every Thursdays and Saturdays. We just did a physical training. Then we talk about all these things. Acceptance. We talk about how to live in flow. We talk about how to go ahead and change the energy from negative to positive. We talk about how to deal with ego. We talk about how to deal with emotions. We talk about how to go ahead and get in better shape. Everything that has to do with training us to be the best versions of ourselves, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Okay. And we dive in. So this feels right for you, join in. Go to flowtribe.us. The group is still small, so it's very intimate. So we'll be able to chat like this on Zoom. Do it every week. Okay. And all right. So thank you guys, and have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.